still gotta count your blessings, you know? So blessed. Yeah. Wake up, another day, thank the creator. Last night was real, today's gonna be greater. Brainstorming, pondering ways to get my cake up. It's all about the money, but don't let the money make it. It's keep scraping the plate up. Don't get it to a haters.
What's the chatter, every matter? Welcome to the Future Flow. Here we highlight technology that is used in modern time that will be in ancient time. Yes. Welcome, we're here once again. I'd like to thank you. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're hearing me right now. This is the Wealth Chambers show, the Future Flow show. I am True Omega Sun 88, also Omega Sun's Light. Hope all you and your families are well. What's up, Earthly Matter? You ready for some divine data? It's almost the end of Black History / Future Month. I also say World African Celebration Season. Me and my own little circle, we stretch it for 3 months, starting from January to March. And I was basically getting into a lot of the educators and the investors. I didn't have too much time to post like I wanted to, but I'm definitely happy and proud to post up the father of all this, what you call Black History Month. Started off as Negro Week with Carter G. Woodson, Dr. Carter G. Woodson, and he's seen that, more representation and a greater image needed to be advanced so people can understand the contributions that, quote unquote, the Negro was doing even before his time, but he definitely wanted to catch people up and then show the excellence and outstanding nature of what was going on around his time. And I said it in the last post broadcast about that 1835 to like 1940 time of people just excelling and being great orators and being great educators. Of course, not all of them got along, but there were so many methods that you could use that were all constructive. They all had logic to them, and there were massive amounts of inventions. People just working out the details and figuring things out. I mentioned Sarah Boone with something as simple as an ironing board, which lessens the practicality of things, all the way to Elijah McCoy at the same time was developing his ironing board, which was like, it's monumental to see like minds grow and prosper like that. So when you get in, feel free to get into the chat. That's working right now. Got everything bubbling, as they say. No drop frames. We're doing this nice and live. And right now we're going to talk about C.R. Patterson, an amazing figure in the history. Okay, let me get this right. What's going on? All right, boom. C.R. Patterson is the father of the brother Frederick Douglass Patterson. Is named after the great Frederick Douglass, who was um, one of the inspirations for Dr. Carter G. Woodson to develop Negro Week and put it in the Negro Journal. And this is important because as a young man with such a name, a task is ahead of him to do something great, and that's why it's important to name. You don't have to name your child, you know, too many of the names that came before, but you give them something that they can redefine their reality with. You know, a great name is a noble thing. It describes a cause, and I think a lot of us don't take heed to that anymore, which is unfortunate. And what it does is it takes away from the continuancy of things, because cultural continuity is very important. Let me see if I can share a video with you a little later about how important last names are. But this is a Future Flow show, a tech show from technology from the past and how it's brought into the future, or just random technological and futurist concepts that we need to deal with, stuff that we're dealing in reality in real time, because future is real time. We have right in front of you, in this ride to greatness, the Patterson Greenfield automobile of Greenfield, Ohio. Now, when we think about Black Wall Street and a lot of Winston-Salem, Rosewood, there's so many others, right? Weeksville and Brownsville, Harlem World on the rise. we didn't never really thought about the technology that goes into these places, right? You know, the practicality of people, coming up with these ideas, knowing that people may need this. It's a necessity. It's a necessity to be dealt with, and drawing up their imagination and their ingenuity, is very important, and it definitely puts us on to the new levels, the higher heights. So Greenfield, Ohio, which was relatively a northern town. There was a mixed population there, but of course everybody's stuck to their little circles. The reason why Henry Ford cannot claim that the Model T is the first car is because of this man. Well, he's the first African American black automotive company owner. Active from 1893 to 1939 as a company, and his premier years was 1915 to 1918, right? So they had a level of evolution from the first model going on. Henry Ford is known for the assembly line, and that's the claim to fame, the founder of the modern assembly line. And that has been improved upon, as you see now, where you can get packages right at your door, real time, no problem. So when you see this is an old advertisement speaking about the Patterson Greenfield automobile, also auto parts and other things they were into. Like I said, founded by Frederick Douglass Patterson, named after his father, Charles Rich, CR. It's born as enslaved Africans. Well, I won't say African. Let me slow down, right? Enslaved black people in the Virginia plantation. He had to work and strive and struggle to get this education. They fled on the Underground Railroad up and worked at Dines and Simpson Carriage and Coachmakers Company. That's where he learned blacksmithing, right? So now he has a trade in his hand, and with that trade comes the ingenuity, the creativity, you know, the sight to see that there's a product that I can develop with my hands that I know people will need. Remember, we're coming out of the horse and carriage into the automobile lane, which is a total paradigm shift. You know, it lessens the load for the animal. It creates a greater workload and travel time. It's cut quick. And remember, I told you from Elijah McCoy, the real McCoy, he developed the oil cup, which was very impactful in the railroad industry. It helped the train get lubricated so we could travel longer distances and faster. That's a tremendous contribution at that time, and it launched new innovations towards the future to what we have right now into bullet and sonic trains. See, the propelling of the idea had to start with somebody willing to take a chance and also willing to push their potential and limits forward so they can get it, you know. And just to show you where it was going on with that, the United States was experiencing the panic of 1893, a financial crisis, and business was suffering. As a result, the company was renamed C.R. Patterson and Son after Patterson bought Lowe's shares. See, him working in this trade, he was able to build his nest egg and also be able to invest. So you're talking about a very well-to-do individual who took something little, you know, expanded on it, you know, and now it's a working business. Samuel Patterson fell ill in 1897, died in 1899, and his eldest son, Frederick Douglass Patterson, moved in to help with the business, and that's what, you know, started all. It's from the horse and carriage and the buggies, and then seeing how everything related to each other and responding to the call to say we can automate this. Magnificent, man. Decided to get into the horseless carriage business. Then he went in. The first cars were sold for a whopping $685. Changes his life automatically. And imagine that type of money at that time. You know, it's about $17,000 to $22,000 in last year, as far as the value of it goes. But I think the value was that so much more, because the leap that it took from the horse and the buggy into a fully automated vehicle, very important. They also did buses and trucks. Again, expanding the workload, making people's lives easier, especially if you're into transporting. I mean, this is some amazing stuff. And they started out in Greenfield. They ended up in Gallia, Ohio. You know, so let me share with you a brief little vibe that goes with that. So salute to the Patterson company. Salute. Cause that's just magnificent, man. I don't think people really understand the legacy that was there, and it could be found again we can only be more diligent into what we do. So now I'm gonna get you a clip. All right, just bear with me. Of the Patterson, like a little walkthrough, nothing too much. Let me see. There we go. Boom.
Black World Celebration Season honoring the Patterson Car Company of Ohio, which came to the turn of the century.
Oh, my bad.
Basically built in 1914 after the horse and carriage era, when it went to the actual horse and buggy to motor driving.
Where's my Patterson?
One of the fixtures in the black community was sponsors in different publications. Went out of business after 10 years. Black World Celebration Season honoring the Patterson Car Company of Ohio, which came to the turn of the century. Basically built in 1914 after the horse and carriage era, when it went to the actual horse and buggy to motor driving. One of the fixtures in the black community was sponsors in different publications. Went out of business after 10 years due to lack of general demand. This is why one still don't pass.
This car transforms.
Okay, now this is want to show you how far we've come so far. This is from Super Car Blonde of Exquisite Luxuries. It's a nice little media channel that I like. They do a lot of exposés into the new technology that's going on with these whips that we love, and also just new technology in itself that caters to the luxury lifestyle. See, one thing about the show, and also my podcast that I had on the Spotify, Anchor app, all that stuff, was about what is luxury from the beginning of time till now. And it's always something to make life a little more easier, also give edge and leverage to what the reality is now, and kind of like bending imagination into the future. Just this very medium that we are interacting with now. You listen to me from wherever you are, doing whatever, and I'm on the other side of the Canon string, and you can actually see me if you're looking at your devices, or if you hear me, you're some far distance, and I'm where I am, and you're getting clarity, and every every opportunity that the inquisitive have, they're expanding upon that, and it's very key that we get people that that have that spark of imagination, that have that know-how, just automatically get them into these sciences, especially these babies. They are already picking up the technology, and knowing what to do with it, before you even tell them. They throw the instructions away and keep it going. Very interesting. But more importantly, there's also a counter effect. Too much time into these virtual societies and devices, and things of this order. It can mess your eyes up. You can get carpal tunnel syndrome. They actually have a report about a bone growing in the back. This is, as you're growing, a bone growing in the back of the neck of chronic cell phone users and tablet users. They're bending their necks over to look at messages, and it's been so prevalent that it's actually affecting the physiology of people. What we're going to say when augmentations become a now thing, a happening thing. You already have people that do piercings, and there's already people that about 36,000 people that have special augmentation. I think I sold it a while ago about not just the chip in the hand, but also uh, uh, um, the phone in the forearm. The phone format that lights from the bracelet into the forearm. So it's like you're pressing on your arm to get to the apps. This way nobody steals an actual phone. You got it on your body. The last Wealth Chambers Future Flow show, I showed the Google Glasses. Now, Google Glasses was something maybe about, I want to say 7 years back. And it was a great concept, but it wasn't refined to the point that we have it now. Where you can pull up the apps on the side of the glasses. You can do visual scanning. Very limited, but you do visual scanning like a QR code. You can read messages on one side of the frame and then watch a movie on the other side of the frame. It can also be instructional, like say for a surgeon, for truck drivers, or you want to know how to drive different routes and stuff like that. Instead of looking at the dashboard, you're looking right through your glasses, so it lessens the visual time for you to take your eyes off the road. Very important. But look at this vehicle right here. And remember what we came up from with the Patterson car, which was revolutionary at its time. Remember, from the horse and buggies to the Patterson Company and Son, Patterson Sons and Company car. Legendary. This is what's going on now. Let me widen this up. So hold on. Let me widen this up a little bit so you can see. This is the super carb line. There's no biasness in here.
A short city version into a longer car for longer trips. Now watch how the whole car retracts into this smaller city version. Look how these panels disappear.
Hold up. So the length of the car is for the aerodynamics, for you to, make your moves, performance, handling, maybe some long touring, so you're gliding on the road better. But as soon as you stop, you might have to park somewhere. And if you're in a big city or let's say like a packed area, like a parking lot or things of that nature, you're going to have to save as much space as possible. And this right here is, innovative. It's something very cutting edge and practical. It's useful. When I say we need people on the side of that, we do. I'm going to show you a couple of slides later how there are African car makers that are actually doing the work and bringing about a revolution in their car making system. It takes a lot. People feeding off of ideas. You got to get the resources and materials, and you definitely have to have the people involved to make those things happen. But we don't get the marketing over here, And I'm only doing this to level the playing field because we talk about Porsche, Mercedes, Audi. We talk the big names, but it's also not equal representation there. Okay, let's go with Acura. Let's go with Nissan, Lexus. It's the Japanese. Now you have the Koreans in it, the Hyundais, the Kias. The German cars. We already know, like I said, the Benz, the BMWs. Africa is one of the biggest continents. They should be represented as well, right? Especially if we're talking about economic fluidity, representation all across the board, and young black youth. See, If we drive too many divisions amongst each other, we cannot get together to fix things. And that's the important thing with civilization, being able to get together to fix things. One of the things that need to be repaired are the images of dark people on the globe, especially amongst the economic disparities that are there. We clearly see that if you give people the right amount of resources and access to wealth, or just access to the materials they need, they can grow and prosper. And that means other people can grow and prosper, because parts need to be ascertained. One person's idea flows to another person's idea, and they expand on it, and then you get stuff like this. Let's move on.
I've never seen that before, have you? You have this facial recognition technology here.
Facial recognition technology. Understand what's going on now. Understand what's going on now. You walk into the bank. Instead of pulling out a wallet and a card, you just look at the screen. It picks it up, shows you your balances. Asks you if you want to withdraw anything. No, I don't want to withdraw anything. Or move my accounts. You're saying it. But it can also detect the stress in your speech, just in case there's a holdup. This is where we are now.
That's how it's going to know it's you approaching your car, and then gesture technology as well to open the door. Got to show you inside as well. Look what this does. This right here, this center console opens.
This is not to draw jealousies and, spite people for the lust to achieve, to get money and stuff like that. But these are the accoutrements of successful lifestyle, which is what luxury is all about. And luxury is open to everybody. It has no color line. You achieve what you achieve if you can, if you wish to, you can buy this stuff. Or you can create it on your own. It reminds me of a youth in Africa, I believe it was the Ghana area, where Accra, amongst the cell phone towers, and people throw their phones away like it's nothing. Remember the burner phones, just throw them on the floor. If you ever seen the wire, just throw them on the floor, leave it there. They have these dumps with these phones, and a young man was able to not just fix a cell phone tower, but also fix, a network and repair phones, so people that didn't have any phones now can access, and these things take effect. It creates a greater quality of life. Just as there's a curse, there's a gift. So now they can talk to distribution places, so they can go to the market, sell more things at the market. They're a cook. They know where to get some different herbs and spices and produce, and expand upon their cooking. They're a mover. They can get more jobs because they're on the line, and people are connecting. So this is what this is what this is all about, and this is the fruits of all that connection. Luxury is the fruit of your connection, like your network, and the value that it brings to each of us in the network. And we're able to achieve our goals. We can acquire wealth. We can acquire luxury. But first comes the work.
Kids in the back for entertainment. This folder attributes you can have multiple screens. Okay, off you go.
Dope.
Nah, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Dope. And that's a beautiful thing right there. Let me take this off real quick. We seen this already, right? We seen this. Get that off real quick. And that's where we are right now. Hold on. Good grief. Good to the grief. Okay, here we go. Get that out of there. Get out of here. All right. And we're back. Let me turn this off too. And that's what it's about. You know, the Patterson Greenfield Auto Mill, starting there. Let me see if I can take you to the next level real quick. But we're not done. Yeah, we're not done. The reality is, here go the Benz, Mercedes. The technology with this is like, remember what I said about the luxury is to make, turn this on. It's to make a seamless experience with the product or with the atmosphere, like a smart house. You walk in and you already preset your conditions to each room. You have, a computer screen on your refrigerator. A small television screen on your on the mirror. All this is it. And with this one, you don't have to touch the door handles. You just wave your hand and the door opens. And you wave it back in front of the sensor and the door closes on the passenger side and the driver's side. See how spacious this is. It's the panoramic roof, all glass ceiling. We already know with the Wraith and with the Wraith, they have the translucent ceiling. So it's like looking at the stars. Monumental stuff. Monumental. And to have people in place, these youth out here, instead of just thinking it's just about whatever they do, there's more opportunities available, and not everybody is looking to just settle. So yeah, push it to the limit. Create this stuff and put your name on it. Let's go into another, because I really want to drive home a couple of the new stuff that is going on the continent of Africa. That's just amazing. I know I put it, y'all. Okay, just in case you didn't see that, that's the Patterson Car. It's not there. Okay, brief intermission to show you what's going on right now. This is the movement to move with. Put the guns down, people. Lay them down. Hold your family down. That's what I say.
Lay your guns down! Lay them down!
got one thing to say. I want y'all to put the guns down and pick the books up. Education is key.
Please, put down those guns. Put them down. Hold your family down. They need
Salute to my man Mills for throwing that down, man. Very important PSA for the community, and definitely need to rise up and do that. You know, get back to, you know, you can talk it out. Conflict resolution is everything, right? And if you can't do that, just stay away from each other. Do your best. And if it has to go to the point where the tensions are too much, you know, resort to, you know, throwing it from the shoulders, as they say. It's not hard. Salute to Truth Teller in the building. Salute to Global. I don't know why this is not popping up the way it's supposed to. Global, beautiful woman, great sister. Go to her channel. She's doing very good things with the community. The artists that she's putting on her platform, wonderful, wonderful. Prometheus. I already told you about the brother's bad. The brother's bad, but not bad meaning bad, but bad meaning good, right? So I thank y'all for coming through. I got a couple more things. Like I said, I want to show the African cars that are in effect. Oh, they got a nice luxury one too. Let me see if I can send this to my joint. I hope you like the music. That was made by one of my youngins, doing their thing in the community. Oh man. And they have a car called the Kantanka. It's an actual SUV from Nigeria. And I definitely want to show that now. And we don't get that information here. You know, what dealership do you know is running a Kantanka? You know, do you get a chance to get the Kantanka? You need to know these things. You know, okay, there we go. You need to know these things. You know, especially for the image of our people, like, you know, so we can get a proper, you know, we can at least get a choice. There's a Kantanka. Right there. Kantanka. I'm gonna blow it up for you, so you can see what they're dealing with. What them dealing with them. Can I blow it up? Yeah, we can blow it up. That's the Kantanka right there. I believe this is the founder. SUV. It competes with the RAV4. Maybe what's the other one? The CRVs. Done with hands that look like this. Very important. Very important. Here's another one. Yeah, I'm you know, showing out a little bit. I like that. This is Black History Future Month. This is the future. This is what's going on right now. Look at this. Look at the streamlined LED lights. You know, that's the logo right there. Small grill, not a grill at all. Very state of the art. Streamlined, aerodynamic. Look at the side view mirrors. Back with what we just saw from the truck. You ever seen the Shadow Hawk? I think that's what it's called. Oh man, things are crazy huge. Elgar, what's good? Peace. We're talking about the future flow. So this is the talent that's out here, the ingenuity. You know, And to have people that look like you were on the other side of that is very, very key. You ever heard of James Gatling? James Gatling was, well, is he still? I don't think he's still alive. Let me see if I can pull it up. James Gatling is the brother that started the template for Nintendo. Well, who was the first one to put cartridges in? Atari, ColecoVision, Nintendo. James Gatling. A black man. Video games. Let me see. Well, I don't like to just talk about it. I'll spell the name wrong. Look at this. So this is what first African American video game designer. If you can Google it yourself, Jerry Lawson. Yikes. Jerry Lawson. He was a big guy, 6'5", 300 something pounds, but a techie at heart, and put it forward. You say, why? What does that have to do with what's going on now? Look what you got with Xbox 360. It started from this. It's the jump from the Pong. That's why you see a robot like the one I showed earlier, with the emotions and emoting. They don't have emotions. Emoting and animated. The articulation is refined now. Before they weren't able to do that. So now you have robotics mixed with AI. Who's competing for jobs? Especially right now where people are being displaced. Who will fight the future wars? Do people actually need to go to war when this is being done? Gerald Lawson, born in New York City, December 1st, 1940. Saved up his money, went to City College. First he went to Queens College, went into computing, and then to Silicon Valley in the 70s. He crossed paths with Steve Jobs and Wozniak. Rubbing elbows with the designers of what we call now Apple. I mean, come on. And imagine the ideas that was gleaned off of him. You don't just think of it one way, because that's another thing. People think education is something that's that's only for one group or for two or three groups. It's only confined to these two or three groups. It's only no. And that's why it's important to have these images out there, so people can see there's a difference. You didn't think that Africa, a lot of people still think that Africa is dead broke. Unless there's somebody invading or they're doing corrupt business and stuff like that. No, there's people that actually found a way, got those connections, knew their value and self-worth, turned their net worth into a network, because other people like to, come up to, and they put together a way to develop their lifestyles, build up their lifestyle so they can build up their country. The only problem is that through colonialization and cultural appropriation in a way, it seems like many of the affluent have become Europeanized. Now, there's a give and take with that. You get the access to luxury so you can do more and find out, better ways to establish, what being successful is about. which is actually being at ease so you can create more ideas, and that trickles to the people. But at the same time, you lose your cultural identity, you lose the zest of what it took for you to get to where you were. You know, and that's the detriment of being too far away from your base group. And all of us get there in our own way. We all get to that point. So let's not flip them down. So you got that. One more thing I want to show you is about the last names, and that's going to tie into all of this right now, because having a last name is very important. Having a last name is so essential to life, and the life that we live right now at this very moment. I bet you, like what they said in Baby Boy, you look like you got 7 millionaires on you. You can look to the left of you, you can look to the right of you, and you can find at least 20 things that people are getting paid from. They develop their company in their last name, and it trickles down to the rest of their family. Think of where you go to. Walmart. Let me see if I can find it. I'm not going to play with you. After this, we're going to roll out. The next show is going to be for Omega Sons Light Cultural Connections. We're going to talk about opinion versus fact, called Opinionated Facts. And we're going to get to the bottom of people's opinions on things. People's opinions on things. Okay, I gotta transfer this over. Hold on 1 second. Is this it? Black culture. I think this is it. Let me see. Let me see. That's not it. Hold on. I got so many clips. Got 4 clips. Okay, here we go. Let me just flip it over. Let me know if you like the beat. Tap 7. Put it in the chat. Put 7 in the chat. Elgar, thank you for coming through. Once again, global truth teller in the building. All love, all love. Prometheus in the building. Strive for perfection. It's called the Wisdom God Day, as they say. And we striving for perfection. Okay, here we go. The last part. Yeah, here we go. Let me turn this off.
Kraft Foods, Lowe's Movie Theater, Marriott is the last name, Maybach is the last name, Nordstrom is the last name, Pillsbury is the last name, Porsche is the last name, Procter & Gamble, 2 last names, Rolls Royce, Charles Rolls, Henry Royce, last name, Turner Broadcast System, Ted Turner, last name, Versace, last name, Wells Fargo, Henry Wells, William Fargo, last name, Walgreens, last name, Wrigley's, last name, Welch's Grape Juice, last name. Here you are, you think you're buying a product. You are not buying a product, you're buying a name. You think you're wearing a product. Hey, look at this product. No, you say, look at this family. And what you don't know is why you're making every family rich, you're making yourself broke.
We're going to do that one more time. One more time. I think people need to hear it. Salute. Hold on. We're not going to just do that. I got to give that brother's props. Got to give the brothers props. One more time.
Kraft Foods, Lowe's Movie Theater, Marriott is the last name, Maybach is the last name, Nordstrom is the last name, Pillsbury is the last name, Porsche is the last name, Procter & Gamble, 2 last names, Rolls-Royce, Charles Rolls, Henry Royce, last names, Turner Broadcast System, Ted Turner, last name, Versace, last name, Wells Fargo, Henry Wells, William Fargo, last name, Walgreens, last name, Wrigley's, last name, Welch's Grape Juice, last name. Here you are, you think you're buying a product. You are not buying a product, you're buying a name. You think you're wearing...
Man, think you're buying a product, you're buying a name. Oh yeah, by the way, I does this all by my lonely, and I love it. Does this all by my lonely, and I love it. Hey, like I said, we're at the point where it's more than survival. It's more than survival. It's more into it's more into getting our tasks done, realigning ourselves with our focus, being the best beings we can be in order to achieve what we need to for now and continuing on. See, what people stop to realize is that history is a continuing moment. We are creating history as we go along. What is the last thing you want to be known for doing? That's going to be your impact. I mean, you know, people are going to tell you things, you know, tell people about what you've done in your life. But what have you sought out to fulfill? Also, what the great Les Brown would say, the richest place in the world is the cemetery. But people die with their dreams still unfulfilled. Inventions we'll never know. Realities, there'll be a challenge to see. Thank you for coming. Wellness, oneness to you and yours. As we travel on.
Comment, share, subscribe.
And we out.
What's the chatter, every matter? Welcome to the Future Flow. Here we highlight technology that is used in modern times. That will do